Hello everyone, I am working on this game. It's called the Empire of the Empire, Edge of the Empire beginner game. It is a role-playing game, and I've been working on learning this game for over a year because I don't got a lot of time. I was a big player of the original Star Wars series by another West End Games, I think. This one is now some other company. Who knows what that means, but anyway, so it's another company made this game, and I heard it's really awesome, and I said, okay, well, it's better than the old one. I didn't like the old one because it didn't really use a hit point system, and it always bothered me. So I was assured, yeah, this is a really cool game, so go for it. So I went and ordered the game, and I started looking at the dice, and I about threw up. I'm like, man, I seriously regret this. So anyway, I've been determined to play anyway, so in the 5 minutes a week that I have to learn this stuff, I read through the instruction manual, and by the time I got through it, I had to read it again, and I had to read it again. So now I am just going to kind of break down this in different pieces, and I'll post some short videos for those of you who are as busy as I am but don't have time to learn all this crap that they make you learn. So in a nutshell, I'm just going to look at dice today. There are three different various types of dice. You got green, blue, and yellow for the good. And you got purple, right here, black, and red down here. And I know the colors are about the same, but trust me, the one on the left called difficulty is a purple one. Anyway, the way I'd kind of look at this is the green. 1, 2, actually, I put them in a different order. I'd say 1, 2, 3. So if you have a lot of these, that's good. If you have a lot of these, that's even better. So if you're fighting a dragon and you have to have as many of these as possible, or as many of these as possible, or a combination thereof, whatever. And then the green goes against the purple, and the yellow goes against the red. Okay. To make a long story short, green is basically success. That's your ability dice. Difficulty dice, that's a failure. Okay. There's your proficiency dice, which is one better than your basic ability divide. Basic ability. And here is your challenge dice, which is one worse than your difficulty dice. So it's a big comparison game. So if you're kind of... Okay, so that's that. And then you have the yellow. Then you have the blue boost, and then the black setback dice. Basically, what those are for are basically saying, hey, you're trying to hack into a computer system, and you succeed there, but because you have more setback dice, your shoes are untied, and you trip as you try to run away from it. So you had success, but there was something on the side that made a difference. All right, so that's essentially it. Learn to compare green versus purple, yellow versus red, and then once you figure all that out, figure out about your shoes being untied, your boost versus your setback die. I know there's diehard role players out there that disagree with me, but back in my day, you needed a 4D or higher, and you'd roll, 2d10 dice, and you'd be done. But no, now you have to figure out all the stuff, and the game master would figure out. Anyway, enough of my ranting. So we go to the next page, and there are various symbols. You can see the star there. Okay, the star means success. They see the success, and then that goes against the failure, which is on the right side of the page here. See the failure shape? So when you roll 2 dice and you have a failure shape and a success shape, they cancel out. You see it right there? They cancel out. Okay, now when you bring in the big guys, you'd say an advantage, it's this symbol, versus a triumph, advantage versus a threat. Threat. There it is. Okay, you're kind of comparing those 2 dice. Whichever one you have more of wins. And then the same thing with triumph versus despair. Whatever you have the most of wins. Okay. There's some advantages to triumph, which I put some notes here. See the 2 bullets? First, each triumph symbol counts as 1 success. Okay. And it's the same thing on the other side for the despair. Each despair counts as 1 failure. Okay, but also you get an extra bonus. With the triumph, they can be used to trigger incredibly potent effects. Not only do you hack the computer, but you also find the leader's location or something. I don't know. And then come over here to the despair side. It unlocks extra negative effects. Okay. So let's look at one other question I have here is if you have a success and advantage, or what happens if you have a success versus a threat. Okay. So whenever you have a success dies and threat dies really don't compete with each other, right? They don't, because threat and advantage, those 2 items are kind of in their own little bucket. For example, you are teaching a child how to do math, and they are thinking about lunch. This is sort of the out to lunch piece, the advantage versus the threat, in that it's kind of unrelated. So if you, again, as mentioned with the dice, if you are in a situation where you hack the computer, but your shoes get untied and then you trip on the way out the door, that would usually be determined by your advantage versus your threat ratio. The more you have, whichever one has more wins, okay? But you can throw in triumphs. Triumphs just count as extra success dice with the added advantage of second. Each triumph can be used to trigger incredibly potent effects. So the triumph, it sounds like to me, can enhance the advantage a little bit, or used to trigger incredibly potent effects. Maybe instead of cutting an enemy, you literally blow them up or something. I don't know. Maybe it just kind of adds to that. I'll figure it out as I go. When you're game master, you get to make those decisions, right? And then over here, despair, same idea. Despair adds to failure. So that would count as an extra failure for your die roll. But then you can have extra effects to failure. Make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. That's where I'm at for right now. So to me, that's the hardest part. Good luck.